Congratulations on your freedom. That was the top comment under my brother-in-law's Instagram post. Thousands of people were celebrating him. They saw a smiling man in a tailored navy suit, standing on the deck of a $12 million yacht with a glass of champagne in one hand, and a beautiful young woman wrapped around his arm. The ocean sparkled behind them, and the caption read only 3 words. "Finally, I'm free." The likes climbed past 50,000 in less than an hour. Nobody knew that while the internet was calling him an inspiration, his wife, my younger sister, was lying unconscious in an ICU just 8 miles away. Nobody knew that she had been declared clinically unstable after a suspicious car crash. Nobody knew that the pearl necklace around the young woman's neck wasn't a gift. It belonged to my sister. It was our grandmother's heirloom, the same necklace our mother had placed around her neck on her wedding day. I stared at the photo for exactly 5 seconds before locking my phone. My name is Claire Anderson. I'm 39 years old. For nearly 16 years, I served in United States Special Operations. I've tracked terrorists across deserts. I've survived ambushes. I've watched good soldiers die inches away from me. But nothing I experienced overseas prepared me for the monster hiding inside my own family. Because the most dangerous predators don't carry rifles. They carry smiles. They wear custom suits. They know exactly how to make everyone believe they're the victim. The steady beeping of the heart monitor pulled my attention back to reality. I looked down at my sister, Emma, 29 years old. Artist, kind, the type of person who apologized when someone stepped on her foot. Now her head was wrapped in thick white bandages. Bruises covered the left side of her face. A ventilator breathed for her. She looked more like a stranger than my little sister. I gently held her hand. It felt cold. Too cold. "I came back," I whispered. "You promised we'd celebrate your birthday together." There was no answer, only the endless rhythm of machines refusing to give up. A small bakery box sat unopened beside her bed. Red velvet cake. Her favorite. The frosting had already begun melting under the hospital lights. I bought it 3 hours earlier. Now it looked as hopeless as every promise she'd ever believed. I slowly stood. I kissed her forehead. Then I walked out of the AQ. Not because I was giving up. Because a war had just begun. And this time I knew exactly who the enemy was. The hospital doors slid open with a soft mechanical hiss as I stepped into the freezing New York night. A cold wind cut through my jacket, but I barely noticed it. My mind wasn't on the weather. It was replaying every detail of the last 24 hours, searching for something that didn't fit. Emma's accident had happened on a quiet suburban road with almost no traffic. According to the police report, her SUV had crossed the center line and slammed into a concrete barrier. The official conclusion was simple. The driver lost control. I didn't believe it for a second. Emma hated speeding. She never touched alcohol. She always wore her seatbelt. Most importantly, she called me every Friday night without fail. This Friday, she never did. That wasn't an accident, that was a warning. I climbed into my black pickup truck and started the engine. The dashboard clock read 2:17 a.m. Instead of driving home, I headed toward Emma's townhouse on the Upper East Side. 25 minutes later, I unlocked the front door with the emergency key she'd given me years ago. The silence inside felt wrong. Emma loved music. Even if she wasn't home, soft jazz usually played through the speakers. Tonight, there was nothing. No music, no lights, no warmth, only darkness. I switched on my flashlight instead of the overhead LEDs. Old habits die hard. Military training teaches you never to announce your position before you understand the environment. The beams swept across the living room. A shattered picture frame lay beside the fireplace. One of Emma's paintings had been ripped clean through the middle. A wine glass rested upside down beneath the coffee table, surrounded by dried stains that looked weeks old. This wasn't the home of a happily married couple. It looked like a battlefield that someone had tried to clean in a hurry. I walked slowly toward the kitchen. The refrigerator was almost empty. Expired milk, half a bottle of water, a container of takeout that had molded beyond recognition. Emma loved cooking. She never let her refrigerator look like this. Something had changed long before the crash. My flashlight landed on a yellow sticky note attached to the refrigerator door. The handwriting was unmistakably hers. "Don't forget to smile." At first, it sounded harmless. Then I noticed something beneath it. Pressed so lightly it was almost invisible were 3 more words. "He's watching me." Every muscle in my body froze. Emma hadn't written herself a reminder. She'd left herself a warning. I carefully peeled the note from the metal door and slipped it into a plastic evidence bag from my truck. From this moment on, nothing inside this house was just a memory. Everything was evidence. I searched room after room until I reached the upstairs office. Most of the shelves were empty, but one drawer refused to open. It had been locked. I examined the cheap lock for less than 5 seconds before pulling a small lockpick kit from my backpack. 30 seconds later, click inside sat a single leather journal. Dust covered the edges. Whoever hid it hadn't expected anyone to find it. I opened the first page. Emma's handwriting filled every line. "If you're reading this, something happened to me." A chill ran down my spine. "Ethan says I'm imagining things. He says I'm forgetful. He tells everyone I'm depressed. But I'm writing everything down because I know I'm not crazy." I turned the page. Bank transfers, dates, photographs, copies of emails, insurance policies. Every page painted the same picture. Her husband wasn't simply controlling her, he had been quietly stealing from her for years. Then I reached the final page. My heartbeat stopped. There was only one sentence written across the paper. "If I die, don't believe it was an accident." I slowly closed the journal. Outside, thunder rolled across the city. I looked through the office window toward the skyline, my reflection staring back at me. For years, I had hunted enemies across the world. Now, the hunt had come home.